Live from the Sports and Recreation Center from the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet is proud to welcome you into coverage of College of Staten Island women's basketball. Tonight, it's the CSI Dolphins coming in with a record of 1-1, playing host to the St. Joseph's College of Brooklyn Bears, coming in with a record of 1-2. This is non-conference action, part of a CSI basketball doubleheader here tonight, live from the Sports and Recreation Center. Once again, good evening to you all. I'm David Pizzuto alongside Mike Babuski. We're prepared to bring you two exciting games here on Staten Island's home court. The home opener for the men a little bit later on tonight, and for the CSI women, Mike, the second time that they're on the court. We have about 10 minutes away from tip-off, so we welcome all of our viewers in to the pregame show. Mike, CSI coming off a pretty big win on Saturday.
Yeah, you know, the women have gotten off to a very good start. First they went into Wagner College, actually held the lead in the final minute of that game before dropping a tough 62-60 decision. And against Western New England, Dave, you know, the Golden Bears came out and they played pretty well in the first half and, you know, tried to keep the game close, but CSI went on a 27-17 second quarter run that opened up a 10-point lead, and they never really looked back from there, Dave.
Yeah, it's been all about great defense so far, Mike, in the early part of the season. Obviously, the Dolphins holding Division I Wagner to only 62 points and a 2-point loss, and then, of course, holding Western New England to only 25 points at halftime, and then even less than that in the second half. They're forcing a lot of turnovers, Mike, not particularly shooting the ball all that well, but when you're rebounding well and when you're playing great defense, Tim Shanahan will sign up for that any day of the week.
Yeah, you know, the Dolphins forced Western New England into 23 turnovers during that game. And, you know, that was really after kind of pulling away in the second half, Dave, and kind of easing up on the defense a little bit. So, you know, you like the way they performed in that game. Western New England had several girls that were 5'9" and bigger, and the Dolphins did a very good job on the glass that game. They actually out-rebounded Western New England 32-30 in that game and, you know, did a pretty good job. And, you know, the offense is really starting to get a little bit better. And, you know, really it looks like Samantha Fleckaday might be ready to step up and really take a big scoring role for the Dolphins this year.
Yeah, we might as well talk a little bit about who the usual suspects are for this team, Mike. And a couple of them are standard names. Christina Passatoro, former CUNY Rookie of the Year, first-team All-Star a season ago. She's averaging 13.5 points and averaging 10 rebounds per game. Also leads the team in assists, so a triple threat there. Obviously, you mentioned Samantha Flecker. She's the team's leading scorer at 19 points per game. She's adding 8 rebounds. And then, Mike, I don't want to say it's a surprise, but certainly in an elevated capacity, Angelique Price has been playing exceptionally well for the Dolphins. She's averaging 16.5 points, second on the team with 33 total points, 5 rebounds. But, Mike, what's different is that she's shooting the ball very well, 46%. CSI as a team shooting just 32%. She's 44% from behind the arc, and she's shooting her free throws well as well. 7 of 9, and she's getting to the line. So Angelique Price has given the Dolphins a lot of weapons when she's in the game.
Yeah, she really has, Dave. You know, you mentioned that she's coming in averaging over 16 points a game, but, you know, she's been playing very well defensively for the Dolphins as well, and, you know, really gives the Dolphins that other scoring option that they need offensively, and that's really been a very big help to the Dolphins here in the 2016-2017 season. And, of course, one player that we haven't mentioned yet is Victoria Cray. Victoria, of course, missing last year due to injury back in the lineup. And, you know, she's such a stabilizing force for the Dolphins, Dave. She brings an element of calmness to the team in the backcourt. And, you know, I think that you could look at the lower turnover number, and, you know, part of that is certainly attributable to Victoria being back in the lineup.
Yeah, she's definitely has been a stabilizing force in that backcourt. Has put a lot of the pressure off of Christina Passatoro as the ball handler on the team, even though she does it quite well. And, you know, Cray hasn't really gotten uncorked yet either, Mike. That's the beauty of what we're seeing so far in the early part of the year. So we certainly expect big things from her. Victoria got into foul trouble in the game against Western New England, but she's averaging 5.5 points, 5 rebounds as well. Mike, the one area where the Dolphins do want to improve, and we spoke to Tim Shanahan, he said it as well. Aside from Jacqueline Calley, the Dolphins have no bench points this season. Only 11 points off the bench total. They all belong to Calley. You'd think you'd like to get more of your reserves in the game with foul trouble to Cray in the last game, to Rosa Perone in game 1 over Wagner. Dolphins are going to need that bench to start introducing itself in these games, and they're hoping for that start here tonight.
Yeah, and Dave, you look at the bench this year, there's a lot of turnover from last year's team. You see Nicole Mbesi, and of course, she's a familiar name coming off the bench, but you go up and down the rest of the lineup, Dave, those are all new players that the Dolphins are looking to come in and perform this year. So, it's going to maybe take a little bit of time for them to settle down. But you're absolutely right. The Dolphins are not going to be able to get by with only 6 players scoring.
Yeah, absolutely. So that'll be something that we pay special attention to in this game. Mike, the Dolphins, once again, 1-1. They're on a 1-game win streak. Of course, their only loss coming against a non-Division III opponent. So for all intents and purposes, they're 1-0. On the season in NCAA Division III play. And, Mike, they're going to look to advance here on their home floor against St. Joe's Brooklyn, a team that really they've been playing just about every single year over the last decade or so. They're a perfect 8-0 at home against St. Joe's in their recent rivalry. St. Joe's hasn't taken a game in this series in about 5 years, and they're off to a 1-2 start, and they're looking to get back to 500, and a familiar face is coaching them. Tom Flahive, a former assistant coach here with the CSI Dolphins many years ago.
Yeah, and Dave, St. Joe's is coming off a win against a CUNY Conference opponent. They were able to defeat John Jay by a final score of 65-58. So they're going to look to double up their win total here this afternoon against another good CUNYAC team in the College of Staten Island. And Dave, as you mentioned, these teams typically play each other every year. The Dolphins have performed very well against St. Joe's in last year's game. The Dolphins won that one by 17 on the road in Brooklyn, and again were able to pull away in the second quarter of that game. So, the Dolphins have been successful against St. Joe's Brooklyn, and a team that you want to come out and play well and play hard against, as you mentioned, Dave, against a head coach that's very familiar with the College of Staten Island.
Yeah, and very similar to the Dolphins, Mike. A lot of the St. Joe's production funnels through 2 or 3 players. They're led by their 5'5" guard, number 4, Destiny Marino. She's averaging 17.3 points per game. She's adding 4 rebounds per game as well. Then you have Caitlin Staub, the 6-foot sophomore. She's averaging 11 points per game and 6.5 rebounds. And then you have 5'6" sophomore Victoria Porchese, who's averaging just a hair under 10 points a game. So sort of a trifecta of sorts for this Bears team as well, and the Dolphins will have to key on that trio.
Yeah, and Porchese had 18 points against the Dolphins on 6 of 23 shooting in their game last year. So, again, these are teams and players that are familiar with each other. They're people that have competed against each other throughout over the years. And, we certainly expect a good basketball game, but the Dolphins got to feel, pretty comfortable with their chances going into tonight's game.
And speaking of those chances, Mike, let's talk a little bit about what the Dolphins need to do as we have about 2 or 3 minutes to go before our national anthem and starting lineups. Your keys to the game here for the Dolphins.
Well, Dave, we always look at 2 places with the CSI Dolphin team, and generally speaking, if they do these 2 things well, they've been very successful. If they're able to rebound the basketball on the defensive side of the glass and they avoid turnovers, you're usually going to see a very strong, very competitive effort out of the CSI Dolphin team. And, Dave, with all the turnover on this team from last year and, all of the senior players that are no longer in the lineup, it's going to be interesting to see how consistently these ladies can come out and play. It's now going to be their 3rd game in a week, so it'll be interesting to see if they can keep replicating their level of play.
Another thing to add as well, Mike, is the Dolphins' ability to shoot from the free throw line. They're only shooting under 54% for the season. And Mike, if we look at the stats, St. Joe's has played 3 games. Their opponents have taken 78 free throws. So you do the math, that's 26 free throws per game that St. Joseph's is allowing. So obviously the Dolphins are probably going to get their chances from the free throw line, and they're going to, of course, they're going to have to cash in on those free opportunities. So far, the Dolphins are shooting just 54% from the line, but their opponents have been doing them some favors too. They're only shooting 50%. For St. Joe's, they're looking for the upset tonight, Mike. What do they have to do to stop the Dolphins?
Well, again, when you're looking to stop this CSI Dolphin team, you're going to have to get players on Flecker and Passatoro. That's where the Dolphins' offense is going. The Dolphins are going to look to get their offense. And Dave, on the in the game over the weekend, Rosa Perone went 0 for 5 in that game. But I thought she presented herself and got herself some good opportunities at the basket that just wouldn't go down. And, again, with Rosa really being the only player on the team, that's listed over 5'9", they're really going to need production for her out throughout the year, especially against better opponents. So it'll be interesting to see how Rosa plays tonight against St. Joe's Brooklyn.
Staten Island Dolphins at 1-1, looking to get over the 500 mark. They face off against St. Joseph's Brooklyn. What Mike and I will do is take a step out while we have our national anthem being played here and the introduction of our starters. When we come back, it's tip-off time. Dolphins and Bears coming up next on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook. And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tight.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit.
Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave.
Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
And we are back here live from the Sports and Recreation Center here, the campus of the College of Staten Island. We are just moments away from opening tip between the St. Joseph's College of Brooklyn visiting the CSI Dolphins. St. Joe's coming in with a record of 1-2. The Dolphins at 1-1 and we'll take a look at our starting lineups at this time. And for that, my broadcast partner and colleague, Mike Babuski.
Thanks a lot, Dave. First for the St. Joe's Bears, it'll be number 5, Samantha Simon, the 5'4" senior guard from Brooklyn, New York. The remainder of the starters for the Bears, number 13, Gina Hopkins, number 23, Christian Farino, number 24, Christian Candelaria, and number 35, Caitlin Staub. It's interesting, Dave, the two of the leading scorers for the Bears, Destiny Marino and Victoria Percasi, neither one in the starting lineup. For the Dolphins, it'll be the familiar starting 5, the same starting 5 that started all 3 games. Christina Passatoro, Angelique Price, Victoria Cray, Samantha Flecker, and Rosa Perone.
Yeah, Mike, and looking at the St. Joseph's College bench, there are a couple of players that don't have a jersey on, but of the ones that do, I do not see Destiny Marrero and I do not see Victoria Percasi out there. So this could be a very short-handed Bears team. Had a chance to speak to Tom Flahive before the game, caught up with him a little bit, and he said, look, we're still a developing team. We're obviously going to take our lumps, but we're prepared to give it a good shot here tonight. But chances are, Mike, they're going to be doing it without at least one of their top scorers. There is one player who's wearing shorts on the St. Joseph's bench, but is not wearing a jersey, so not quite sure what the story is there. But in any event, the Dolphins will still have to line up and play this one. And for the Dolphins, Mike, no strangers here in the starting lineup. Pretty expected how they will go. And, of course, that is really not the issue in this game. The issue is going to be what we see out of the CSI bench, because only 11 points have been scored by the CSI bench this season.
Yeah, Dave, it's tough when you get into tough games, against really tough defenses to play with a limited number of players. And I'm sure, one of the things that head coach Tim Shanahan's going to be looking for throughout these early season games, especially through New Year's, is to try to see what he's got and try to see which of the freshman players on this roster he's going to be able to count on in the second half of the season.
Absolutely. If you're new to women's basketball, I'm sure you're not if you're tuned in and joined us here, but they'll play 4 10-minute quarters. They will only shoot free throws after the 5th team foul of each quarter. Everything is a 2-shot foul now, women's basketball. The rules as of last year still in play, and it will be Perone and Candelaria who will jump it up. Candelaria, the 5'9" senior from Jamaica, New York. It skirts around, first picked up by Price, and now she does handle, drops off to Passatoro. She works up to the top of the arc, giving it off to Cray. Cray for 3, a little long on that one. Offensive rebound by Flecker, what the Dolphins have been doing well. Passatoro drives, top of the key, no good. Perone gets the offensive rebound. Her layup, no good. Back up top, and Perone on the Dolphins' 4th attempt gives them a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, good start there for the Dolphins, and we mentioned the Dolphins coming into today's game out-rebounding opponents by almost 10 full rebounds a game, Dave, and that's quite a turnaround, from some of the rebounding struggles that they've had.
And an immediate turnover there for St. Joe's as they fail to inbound, and now the Dolphins almost turn it over. Perone does gather, and she double dribbles, so the Dolphins give it right back here. And
that time,
turnovers.
Sorry, Dave, that time Rosa put it on the floor, picked it up, and kind of put it back on the floor again.
So St. Joe's controls. They get it over the timeline, but the pass too long, and Flecker will control. She drives right side, drops off to Passatoro, looks inside of Perone. Perone, turnaround layup, no good, and it bounces around. That'll be St. Joseph's College ball as we're going to see our first foul. It's going to be on Victoria Cray.
Yeah, so Cray will pick up the first personal, Dave, and you mentioned that she had a little bit of foul trouble in that game against Wagner College, so the first foul of the game goes against the Dolphins.
Yeah, she played limited action on Saturday too because she was in foul trouble, especially in the second half. And now another Bears possession almost ends in a turnover. They are able to get it over the timeline, and this is Simon controlling. Right-handed dribble, drops off to Hopkins. Hopkins now turning left. Gives it up top to Ferrigno. Ferrigno looking down low off the glass. Goes stop. No good. Perone gets tangled up with Candelaria. She drops it off, and the layup is good by Staub.
Yeah, that was good hustle that time by St. Joe's Brooklyn to tie it up.
Angelique Price now by herself through the baseline. No good. Her layup too strong. Rebound was collected by Ferrigno. who's averaging 1.3 this season. Dolphins with a suffocating defense there as Cray came in on Simon. She's got to be careful with one foul already. Turnaround jumper by Candelaria off the glass and in. And the Bears take themselves a 4-2 lead, their first lead of the game. Samantha Flecker off the glass, and the Dolphins make it 4 apiece.
Yeah, that was a nice extra pass that time by Price. Angelique coming into the game with 4 assists a game, picks up her first here tonight.
Now St. Joe's looking to run it down the floor. Staub gives off to Simon, now Candelaria, trying to get some space on the right side. Was able to drop off to Hopkins, and Hopkins buries the long 2, and it's 6-4 in favor of the Bears. And it's Cray. Cray to Price. Price stepped over the three-point line. A long 2 for her, and it's now 6-6.
Yeah, Angelique, as you mentioned, Dave, shooting very well for the Dolphins. Picks up a basket and ties the game up.
Hopkins looks to deliver underneath. That pass was stolen by Perrone, so Perrone, the big presence inside, getting in the way of that one. Passatura now, Dolphins looking to run. They drop off to Perrone. Perrone travels. Score is, oh, now they got the score right on the scoreboard, 6-6. So nice job there by the CSI staff getting it right there as Price, his last basket was just a 2. So it's 6-6. St. Joe's has the inbounds pass stolen. Simon and Victoria Cray now down low. She can't get one off the glass. Ball bounces around, ends up in the hands of Ferrigno. This is Simon down the right sideline. Simon crosses over, now dribbles, right-handed, stops her dribble, gets it up to Candelaria. Being worked on by Callie, who's come into the game for the Dolphins. Cray almost broke up that pass.
You know, Dave, we mentioned earlier the Dolphins doing a very good job with the turnovers, just 13 a game through their first through their first couple of games. 3 early turnovers here, all on Rosa Perrone. So they're going to want to take it easy with the turnovers.
And here's a turnover that goes into the hands of Cray. She drops one off the glass and gives the Dolphins back the 2-point lead. It's now 8-6.
Yeah, 4 different Dolphins have scored, Dave, the first 4 Dolphin baskets.
Yeah, so the Dolphins now back up by 2. Simon controlling. Stops her dribble, drops off to Candelaria, top of the three-point circle. She almost loses the handle. Tied up with Price, is able to dish down low, but stolen away by Flecker. And here comes Flecker now, right sideline, looking to run. Stops in the paint, off the glass, no good. And once again, it's Ferrigno with the board.
Yeah, the Dolphins really doing a nice job defensively, Dave. Whoa.
And we're going to have a foul whistled against Cray, and that will be her second early foul, Mike. So that'll be the end for Cray here in the first quarter, you would think.
I would think that'll be the end for the first half, Dave. So Victoria, unfortunately, will have to go to the bench, but of course that will give an opportunity to Alana DeMontro to come in and play as a freshman.
Yeah, so Elena with some big minutes here in the first quarter. St. Joe's also got a substitution in, Alyssa Alatio. And here's another steal. This time it's Callie. No look pass to the right for Flecker. Off the glass, no good, but she was fouled. And she will go to the line.
Yeah, you know, Dave, the Dolphins really are doing a great job defensively, putting all kinds of pressure on St. Joe's Brooklyn, not really allowing them any opportunity to set up offensively. They've already turned the ball over, Dave, 7 times in just over 4 minutes.
Yeah, we've played 4 minutes and 7 seconds. And this is Flecker. She is shooting 57% from the free throw line. She's now 5 of 8. And she gives the Dolphins a 3-point lead. Sorry, Mike.
Sorry, Dave. You know that she's a much better free throw shooter than that. So Dolphins really looking for much more from the line from Samantha.
Once again, they should get their opportunity. She drains another one, nothing but net that time. Dolphins have their biggest lead in the early stages, 10-6. We are 4 minutes and 10 seconds in. Candelaria controls, looking all the way across court, but the pass too strong by Ferrigno, and that is turnover number 8 now for St. Joe's.
Yeah, again, St. Joe's really struggling, and you know the one thing you like about this Dolphin team, Dave, they really put a lot of pressure on teams. They did that in really the whole first half against Western New England, and have come out here and done it again.
Price thought about a 3, hesitates, now drops off to Flecker. She gets it back. Cross-court pass to DeMontro. DeMontro looking baseline Callie. Back up top, they go around the world. Pasaturo, her first shot attempt, from beyond the arc, no good, and Ferrigno with another board. Kristen Ferrigno, coast to coast, drops off. Nice dish down low, and the layup is good by Staub.
Yeah, that was probably the best offensive set for St. Joe's Brooklyn tonight.
CSI now works quickly. They look in the corner to DeMontro. Her first field goal, no good. Callie with the offensive board on the long rebound.
Yeah,
And this Price now for three, no good. Rattles around. Callie with another offensive rebound. Cross-court pass to Passatoro. Drives inside. Drops off to Callie for three. No good. Over everyone. Staub with the rebound, and she was fouled quickly.
Yeah, so Price is going to pick up that foul, Dave, but Callie's been extremely active since coming into the game. A couple of offensive rebounds and got a turnover. But, you know, Dave, head coach Tim Shanahan not really satisfied with the way the Dolphins have been running things offensively, and he's going to take a 30-second timeout.
Yeah, 30-second timeout called by the Dolphins. And, Mike, you look at the early numbers. The Dolphins have taken 11 more shots than St. Joseph's has. St. Joe's is actually shooting 80% from the field. They're 4 for 5, but the Dolphins just 4 out of 15 from the floor. They're only shooting 26%, but you got to give them credit, Mike. They're getting the boards, especially on the offensive glass.
You know, Dave, you never know what you're going to see when you come out into one of these basketball games. Look at some of these stat lines. They're absolutely crazy. As you mentioned, St. Joe shooting 80% on 4 or 5 shooting, but have turned the ball over 8 times. And then on the Dolphins side, they're only shooting 4 or 15, and but they've gotten all those turnovers already, and they've been rebounding the basketball fairly well so far. So, you know, it should be interesting, but, you know, Victoria Cray on the bench with those early 2 fouls has really changed things offensively for the Dolphins here in the first quarter.
And for the Dolphins, it's Passaturo, Price, Flecker, DeMontro, and Callie still on the floor. With the dribble is Alioto. She gets it up top to Hopkins. Hopkins receives the screen, and now driving baseline is St. Joe's. They drop it off underneath, off the glass, no good. The intended field goal shooter was Drago, and now they skate down the right side to the Dolphins. Flecker's layup is no good, and it's rebounded by the Bears.
Yeah, that was a good opportunity. Flecker just missed the layup.
Alioto, Quesada, and Drago checked in for St. Joe's on that last timeout. Thinking about a 3 was Drago. She drives in instead and gets the friendly roll. And just like that, the Bears have tied the game.
Yeah, so the Bears on a mini 4-0 run to tie the game.
Flecker now spotting up for 3. No good. Just missed it. And the rebound by Hopkins. Now St. Joe's looking to run and turn up the tempo. Alioto dropping down low to Quesada. Now across court, a 3-point attempt the other way, rattling in and out on Ferrigno. Dolphins control. Samantha Flecker looking to run, coast to coast, by herself, off the glass, in and out. And the Dolphins' shooting woes continue, now 4 of 18 from the floor. Inside, drive, and off the glass. Quesada with the basket. She's averaging 3 points per game.
Yeah, so Dave, the Dolphins started out strong, but St. Joe's withstood that early defensive pressure and actually have taken their first lead of the game.
And the Bears are on a 6-0 run as well. Dolphins control. DeMontro having trouble. Puts it back up top to Passatoro. Now Callie thought about a jumper from the free throw line. Drives home instead. Layup no good. And Ferrigno gets the rebound.
Yeah, Dave, Dolphins missing a lot of layups.
But another turnover here for St. Joe's, and now back the other way. The Dolphins 2-on-1. Passatoro on her own and gets her first field goal of the game on her 3rd attempt. Dolphins break up the 6-0 run and have tied the game.
Nice move by Passatoro, laying it in with the left hand.
Drago controlling now for St. Joe's. She drops off to Alioto, who's from Staten Island, New York. More Catholic grad. Now up top is Hopkins. They play it around the world, and now Ferrigno driving in, and the shot was blocked by Angelique Price. And now it's Passatoro down the right-hand side. Passatoro goes up the glass too strong, and it'll be St. Joseph's now with possession. And another errant pass going over the midcourt line, intercepted by Price. Dolphins looking to run down low, and getting in the way of that one was Drago. A couple of subs coming in. Nahada Bracic, who was inactive on Saturday, back in the lineup for the Dolphins. We'll get her first look of the game. Nina DiCioccio coming in for St. Joseph's Brooklyn. Up top, DeMontro. She's driving in right side, drops off to Flecker for three. It's good.
Yeah, and you know, Flecker only hit one of her first 6 shots, was eventually going to start hitting. There's a three-pointer for Samantha.
And there's a steal for Bracic there on the cross-court pass. Dolphins with another opportunity. Passaturo gets it over to Bracic. They work around to DeMontro. Cross-court to Passaturo. Spots up for three. No good. Front rimmed it. Ball bouncing around, collected by Drago, and here comes the Bears the other way. Alioto, the Staten Islander, gives over to Drago. Back over to Alioto. 5'4" sophomore. Quesada controlling from the top of the arc, giving down low to Drago. Drago turnaround layup, no good. And DeMontro, almost guilty of a travel there, drops out to Passaturo. She goes coast to coast but was fouled by Quesada, so she will get to go to the free throw line with 1:10 to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Christina, a little cold from the floor so far, just hitting 1 out of her first 5 shots, but a nice job that time taking the ball right to the basket, drawing the foul, where she will have the opportunity to go to the free throw line and shoot 2.
First of the 2, no good, front rimmed it as her struggles continue from the line.
Yeah, she's now 5 of 12 for the year, Dave.
Yep, she was under 46% coming in. Side note for Passaturo is she needs now 27 points for 1,000, 29 coming into this game. She's already scored 2. Chance for another here, rattles in, and the Dolphins are back up by 4. So after St. Joe's took a 6-0 run, the Dolphins have responded with a 4-run mini spurt of their own. Back up by 4. Quesada controlling, working against Flecker. Now going right sideline, crosses back over. Pass intercepted by Mbesi, who had checked into the game. Passaturo down low off the glass, no good. We're under a minute to play in the first. Flecker gets the offensive rebound. Bracic controlling, top of the arc to Flecker. Flecker for 3, it's good.
Yeah, you know, Dave, the Dolphins are really going to look at Samantha Flecker this year as a player to maybe start scoring over 20 points a game. She's averaging 19 coming in, and, you know, she really does have a lot of versatility. She can shoot both inside and out.
Dolphins with 19 points. Flecker has 10 of them. As we have a foul whistled against the Dolphins, this will be on Nicole Mbesi. And it's the Dolphins' 3rd team foul, so they will not go to the free throw line here with 27 seconds left. Shot clock is off. And the inbounding will be Quesada, freshman from Westbury, New York for St. Joe's, one of their younger developing players that they're very high on. Alioto controlling against Mbesi, cross-court pass, back over to Quesada. Quesada drives in, shot was blocked by Flecker, and then she gets interfered with by Quesada, so Quesada will pick up the foul. St. Joe's 4th of the quarter. And after this, the Dolphins will be in the bonus with 16 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, nice defensive play that time by Flecker. She's heated up offensively with 10, drawing the turnover there.
Dolphins can hold for the final shot, obviously. Mbesi over to Passaturo. Thought about a 3, drops off to Mbesi. Price, baseline drive, a layup, no good as it rattles out, and St. Joe's will hold. But the Dolphins end the first quarter on a 7-0 run, and at the end of 1 quarter of play, the Dolphins lead by 7. It's 19-12. Stay with us. You are watching CSI Women's Basketball right here live on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. Stay with us.
I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me
And me.
help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android.
This is awesome.
You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
We are back here live from the Sports and Recreation Center. It'll be St. Joseph's College basketball as we start the second quarter of play. The Dolphins are up by 7 thanks to a 9-0 run to end the first quarter. And St. Joe's will control here, guilty of a lot of turnovers in that first quarter, and it continues here. Price, coast to coast, off the glass and in. And for Price, that is her third and fourth points of the game. Dolphins with a big lead, 9 points, as Bracic intercepts the inbounds pass. They go around now to Passaturo. Dolphins on an 11-0 run and have already forced 2 turnovers here in the first 30 seconds of quarter number 2. Passaturo down low to Price. Price drops off to Flecker. Arcing 3, no good, and the rebound will end up going to the Dolphins as it was last touched by St. Joe's. And it'll be St. Joseph's College calling a 30-second timeout. Mike, the Dolphins are a plus 11 in the turnover column so far.
Yeah, they're really swarming all over this St. Joe's Bear offense and not really giving them any space at all. And, you know, St. Joe's was able to poke their head in front by a score of 12-10, but that's the last points they've scored, Dave, is the Dolphin defense has really turned it up and really putting a lot of pressure on. And, you know, Angelique Price playing very well defensively. So is Samantha Flecker. And the Dolphins have really turned up the defensive intensity and really shut down this Bears attack. And, you know, Dave, we played almost 12 minutes of basketball, and St. Joe's only has 12 shots.
Yeah, only 12 shots and 12 points. And, you know, that's the thing. They've been outshot by 16 so far, and they're actually very fortunate to only be down by 9 at this point, a negative 11 in the turnover column. And, you know, Mike, the Dolphins have outscored St. Joe's 14-2 off of those turnovers. So that's been the key so far. Now it's Price for 3. No good. Long rebound ends up going back to Price. This is Bracic for 3. It's good.
Yeah, so a big basket there by Bracic, Dave, and I believe that's going to be her first points as a CSI Dolphin.
First career basket and first career points for Bracic, and there's another stolen pass. Now it's Price, coast to coast, and she gets fouled. Going up by DiCioccio, the Brooklyn, New York sophomore. The Dolphins are on a 14-0 run and looking for more. This is Price, one of the Dolphins' best free throw shooters. With her first trip on the free throw line, she's got 4 points.
Boy, Dave, she is such an improved player from last year. It's hard to believe you're looking at the same player with the amount of confidence that she's demonstrating offensively and really becoming a force defensively, and really something the Dolphins desperately needed, and so far she's been able to deliver.
Yeah, and one of the things she is doing quite well is shooting free throws. She's 7 of 9 so far this season, so do the math, at 78%. As we will have, the clock is actually running upwards, Mike. 9, well, I guess they're doing that on purpose here. Something happened with the game clock where it started to run upwards instead of downwards. So we have 9:16 remaining. And it almost doesn't seem right, Mike, because how can we have only played 45 seconds? Maybe that is right, because clock was out for a little while and that long delay.
You know, I didn't even look up at it, Dave, so I'm not sure, but I guess the officials have it 9:15 left, and the Dolphins, Dave, really in the middle of now a 14-0 run and looking for more.
Yeah, and the story has been turnovers so far. The Bears have 3 here in the first 45 seconds of quarter number 2. Angelique Price is 8 for 10 from the free throw line this season and gives the Dolphins a 13-point lead.
Yeah, and if you remember, Dave, the Dolphins had 3 turnovers by Rosa Perone right in the beginning of the game. They have not turned the ball over since then, while at the same time, St. Joe's really struggling. 15, which is a high number for 40 minutes, let alone for 11.
Yeah, very good point. Clock is running downward, so that's a good sign here. St. Joe's controls, looking to at least get a shot off here in this second quarter, and they've got away with a little carry that time. They go around the horn. DiCioccio dropping it off. Cross court. Aliotto back over to DiCioccio. Now the long two-pointer from Candelaria, no good. And St. Joe's continues to possess, but out of bounds for Nina DiCioccio. DiCioccio has only played 8 minutes in the first 2 games of the season for the Bears, but getting extended time, as that's been the story. No Destiny Marino for the Bears, their leading scorer this season, 17.5 points per game. Cross court, Mbesi now top of the arc to Passatoro for 3, no good. And the rebound comes over to Price. Price put up an immediate layup but was fouled, so she'll go to the line. This game has kind of slowed to a crawl, Mike, after a feverish start. The Dolphins are in the middle of a 16-0 run.
Yeah, Angelique going back to the free throw line now for the second time here in the second quarter. And the Dolphins really starting to pull away in this game, Dave. Already opening the lead up to 17. And, you know, it was going to be a tough chore for St. Joe's Brooklyn tonight anyway. But without Marino and Borghese, apparently, you know, you're talking about 27 points a game for this St. Joe's Brooklyn team, a St. Joe's team that was only averaging 58 to begin with. So that's a big blow for the Bears here tonight.
Number 22, Lena Batar, has come into the game for the Dolphins, who are in the middle of an 18-0 run. St. Joe's has not scored since 3.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. We have 8:20 to go here in the second. Bracic left open for 3. It's good.
So Bracic already hitting her second three-pointer of the day, has 6 points, and the Dolphins have really started to blow this one open to here, Dave.
So we are going to have a timeout, and we'll keep it right here as it's a 30-second timeout. So St. Joe's wants to talk it over a little bit more. Mike, the Dolphins are on a 21-0 run. They lead by 19 points. They seem to be in full control, and we've got 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, you know, Dave, this first couple of minutes here have taken a really long time to play, and, you know, the Dolphins have taken advantage going to the free throw line on a couple of occasions and really shutting down this St. Joe's Bear team. And, you know, for St. Joe's, a very dangerous point in the game here, Dave. They're really in danger of falling completely out of it here early in the second quarter. And, you know, again, one of the first things you always look for is where are the points coming from? And, you know, other than Caitlin Staub, who's averaging 11 points a game for the Bears, no other St. Joe player available tonight has averaged more than 4 points early in the season.
And there's another turnover for the Bears. As that time, Mike, the Dolphins took the press off, and St. Joe's with really an unforced turnover as they looked for the touchdown pass when they really didn't need to. And, Mike, this 21-0 run has all occurred in the last 5 minutes of the game for the Dolphins. We really haven't seen the Dolphins score at this rate this often.
Yeah, you know, they're starting to heat up from the floor a little bit. And, you know, Bracic is really doing a horse contest from the outside, as she has 9 quick ones here in the second quarter.
And the Dolphins happy to have Nahada Bracic back active in the lineup. She missed Saturday's game. Dolphins were able to win without her, but you could tell the lift she can give the Dolphins off the bench. 3-pointer the other way for St. Joe's, no good. Casada with the actually that was Candelaria with the rebound, and St. Joe's will have another possession after the 3-point miss by Hopkins. Looking inside, wide open, Drago, and her layup no good as she got too strong, and Batar got the rebound. Passatoro now dropping off to Mbesi. Mbesi gives it back to Passatoro for 3. It's good. And the route is on here. The Dolphins up by 25 points with 7 minutes to play in the second quarter. 37-12. Mike, this was a Dolphins team that only scored 25 in the first half against Webster, Connecticut on Saturday. Missed jumper, offensive rebound, Candelaria. Her putback, no good. This is Drago off the glass, no good. And there for the open layup and the putback. And to end the huge run, Gina Hopkins.
Yeah, you know, St. Joe's needed that, a 27-0 run there for the Dolphins to turn around the game where they actually trailed by 2 at the time, 12-10.
And now a baseline jumper for Flecker mid-range, and that one's good. The Dolphins go back up by 25, 39-14, with 6:27 to play.
And, you know, St. Joe's came in with a little bit of momentum, having beaten John Jay, but having a couple of their best players out has really hurt them here tonight. And the Dolphins' swarming defense hasn't helped them either, Dave.
And another substitution here for the Dolphins as Elena DeMontro has come back in to replace Passaturo.
Well, I have a feeling, Dave, this will be an opportunity for several of the ladies to get a little bit of additional playing time here tonight.
You mentioned the Dolphins' lack of bench points coming into this game. Nahada Bracic has all of those, 9, and now Elena DeMontro with her first points of her career. And it gives the Dolphins a 41-14 lead with 6 minutes to play in the half.
Yeah, Dave, you know, it's amazing. Every year the new freshman players come in, and it's nice to see them pick up their first points.
Now an open underneath. Caitlin Staub puts the easy layup in. Nice play that time for the Bears, working on the baseline. This is Bracic for 3, no good. And the fight for the rebound won by Flecker as she outpaced number 22, Lauren Quesada. And we have a whistle here as the shot clock. We put at 29 seconds. Dolphins get a couple of extra seconds on the shot clock. DeMontro inbounds to Mbesi. Mbesi will get some extended playing time for sure in this one after limited action the first 2 games. Batar looking to Bracic. Spots up, top of the arc. No good. Offensive rebound again. That's Flecker. Bracic over to Mbesi. Back over to Bracic. Left open for 3. Opts out. Steps back. Now the give to Batar on the baseline. Sidesteps one defender. Puts up a layup. No good. Staub with the rebound. Pass underneath. A good one. And now the kick out, 3-point range, Alioto, no good. And the rebound won by DeMontro. DeMontro looking sideline. And the pass too strong for Batar, as looking for her was Bracic. And Mike, Samantha Flecker, the only remaining starter in the lineup for the Dolphins, and maybe that's going to come to pass. No, it's Bracic coming out for Callie, who comes back in, and we'll see Vaseja Watson coming in, replacing Samantha Flecker. So now the Dolphins go with all 5 bench players on the court, up by 25.
Yeah, we saw Watson play a couple of minutes in that game against Wagner, Dave, in her only appearance so far this year.
Oh, 3-pointer rims out for Hopkins. Tough break that time for the Bears. It's DeMontro with the rebound. Gets it over to Callie. Callie spots up for 3. Air ball goes out of bounds. And the Bears will get possession back with 4:29 to play. Dolphins shooting just 14 of 40 from the floor, 35%. But up by a comfortable margin. The give down low to Staub. Staub off the glass, no good. And DeMontro collects another rebound. That's her 3rd. Callie going all the way in, off the glass. Nice layup for Jackie Callie as Callie puts in her first points of the game.
And you're kind of waiting for Jackie Callie really to put it all together, Dave. You know, she's got size. You know she's got the ability to shoot from outside. And, you know, I know the coaches are looking for consistent play out of Jackie here in her second season.
And now signs of life for the St. Joseph's College Brooklyn Bears as Kristen Ferrigno went in and drew contact and got the layup to go. So she will try to complete the 3-point play. I believe this will be their first free throw of the game for the Bears. Ferrigno's first trip to the free throw line. Actually, she's 0 for 2 this season. And that one is up, no good, and the rebound by Callie. So Dolphins continue to control the boards. Callie almost traveled there, gets it inside to Batar. Batar almost lost the handle, but a turnaround layup is good for Alina Batar, and that is her first points of her career.
So that's number 3 here tonight, Dave, who've picked up their first baskets as Dolphins.
45-18, Dolphins with the lead with 3.5 to go in the half. Baseline, 3-pointer attempt by Hopkins, no good. Offensive rebound by Quesada. They reset, and now the other way for 3, Alioto. Staten Island native cuts the Dolphins lead to 25. This is Callie the other way for 3, no good, front rim. And it is collected by Ferrigno, who's having a big game on the glass. Hopkins looking down low, too strong for Quesada. That is the St. Joe's 20th turnover of the first half.
Yeah, you know, 20 turnovers makes it really hard, Dave, because they're actually shooting fairly well, although their percentage has been dropping. But if you're turning the ball over that time, it's really tough to stay in the game.
The Dolphins have 18 more shots than St. Joe's, and a product of that is because they're a negative 16 in the turnover column. Batar, turnaround short jumper, no good. I'm not sure if Ferrigno might have gotten a piece. In any event, the Bears take the offense now. Hopkins drops off. for Alioto. Alioto going left to right around the arc, giving it off to Staub. Staub with a long attempt, no good, and we're going to have a foul, and loose ball foul on number 23, Kristen Ferrigno.
Yeah, I thought that was a tough loose ball foul call on Ferrigno, Dave. I thought she traveled after she grabbed the rebound, but I thought that was a tough foul call.
Ferrigno obviously getting extended time in the absence of some St. Joseph's players. She's averaging 4 points per game. This is Mbesi. Callie to DeMontro. Looking inside and too strong and over the head of Mbesi and stolen by Ferrigno. And she will take it herself down the right sideline looking underneath. Nice pass underneath, the layup and the foul. Lauren Caseda will go to the line.
Yeah, so the Dolphins allowing St. Joe's to get the ball inside and lay it up and in. 2:07 left in this first half. Dolphins comfortably in front, leading 45-22.
Yeah, the game is kind of leveled out since the Dolphins went on that 27-0 run. And the free throw is good, and St. Joe's now on a mini 5-0 run. Cut the Dolphins' lead to 22. DeMontro controls. Being given some space, gives it off to Mbesi. They work it around to Callie. Back up top, Nicole Mbesi. Working on Alioto, she gives it back up top to DeMontro. DeMontro dribbles right, now cuts left, goes back to the right. Mbesi driving the paint, getting it in, right side, layup no good, and Caseda will control. Caseda getting into the paint herself, looks to put up a right-handed layup, no good. She's going to get called for the offensive foul.
Yeah, so St. Joe's actually looking to make a little bit of a run, Dave. They were on a 5-0 run with the ball, but unfortunately they pick up the offensive foul.
And Mike, to their credit, St. Joe's attacking the basket, taking their chances on the inside with some physical play. Watson, one of her first touches of the game, works it around the arc, gives off to Chanel Alvarez. Alvarez with a short jumper, and she gets it in. And for Alvarez, that's the first points of her CSI career.
Wow, so, it's freshman night here, Dave, in the second quarter as the Dolphins freshman players getting their first points as CSI Dolphins. Dolphins
up by 24, now a three-point effort. Offensive rebound, Caseda. Turnaround layup, no good, gets her own, and the putback is good that time by Caseda. All started by the missed three-pointer by DiCioccio. And here come the Dolphins the other way with under a minute to play in the half. Alvarez, another short jumper, no good. It rattles around, and DiCioccio gets the rebound. DiCioccio almost losing the handle there, fronted by DeMontro. She gains the half-court line, gets it to Caseda. Up top, Ferrigno thought about a three, opts out, gives it back over to DiCioccio. They work it around. Alioto, DiCioccio, dribbling left, top of the arc. Ferrigno now for three, no good, too strong. Long rebound, and it's going to be a travel whistled against Alioto, who outmuscled Watson for the board. 20 seconds remaining, shot clock is off. Dolphins can hold for the final shot. They probably will. We can hear Tim Shanahan saying one shot from over here. Dolphins with their most efficient half of the season. Callie thought about a long one, gives it off to Watson. Dolphins need a shot here. 3, 2, and 1. Watson driving in. Layup is short. But, Mike, the Dolphins will go into intermission with the lead for the first time this season, and it's by a bunch, 22 points over St. Joe's. It's 47-25.
Yeah, the Dolphins got to feel pretty good about that first half, Dave. After falling behind 12-10, they exploded, went on a big run at the end of the first quarter into the start of the second quarter. Had an opportunity to play a lot of freshmen during the second quarter and go into halftime with a very comfortable lead after St. Joe's had an opportunity to cut the lead down to under 20, but couldn't get the three-pointer to go on their last possession.
Yeah, so the Dolphins, but courtesy of a 27-0 run when they were down by 2 at one point in this game, are able to take a very comfortable 22-point lead into halftime. It's the Dolphins 47 and the Bears 25. Game 1 of our doubleheader right here from the Sports and Recreation Center. What we will do now is step aside, take a break. When we come back, we'll break down halftime stats and get you ready for half number 2 live from the College of Staten Island. Once again, it's the Dolphins ahead of the Bears 47-25. Stay with us.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably put the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Mom.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course.
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
We're leaving.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent. We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
We're in a physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-one physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me
And me.
help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android.
This is awesome.
You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
And we welcome you back here to the Sports and Recreation Center, home of the College of Staten Island. We have a CSI basketball doubleheader this evening coming up approximately 8 o'clock start, maybe a couple of minutes after will be the CSI men taking on Yeshiva University in their season opener. But for now, Mike, CSI Dolphins comfortably ahead of St. Joseph's College of Brooklyn, 47-25. The Dolphins in full control thanks to a huge second quarter, Mike, where they scored 28 points, outscored St. Joe's by 15, and really they used a 27-0 run, and it was powered by the fact that St. Joe's way too many turnovers in that first half.
Yeah, you know, Dave, St. Joe's charged with 22 turnovers in that first half, and it really was, you know, the period with about 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining at the end of the first quarter through the start of the second quarter when the Dolphins went on that 27-0 run to turn a 12-10 deficit into a 27-12 lead, and they really have never looked back from that point. St. Joe's coming in a little shorthanded tonight without their best player. Dolphins doing a nice job taking advantage of it, Dave, and it allowed head coach Tim Shanahan to do something he doesn't usually do, and that's play a lot of players in the first half.
Yeah, we mentioned about bench scoring being an issue for the Dolphins. They only had 11 in their first two games combined, their first 80 minutes of play. Well, they have 17 bench points, of course, 9 of them off the hands of Nahada Bracic, who's canned 3 straight three-pointers and looking pretty good doing it at that. So she's 3 for 4 total from the field in her first action since the first game of the season. And, Mike, you look at the overall numbers, the percentages are there. It's just St. Joe's has taken 17 less shots than the Dolphins have. The Dolphins have taken 17 three-pointers in the game to St. Joe's 7. St. Joe's hasn't hit a three-pointer. The Dolphins hitting 6 of them. And, Mike, something that we're not used to seeing, the Dolphins shooting up over 85% from the free throw line, 7 of 8. Now, it's a short segment of shots, but the Dolphins have struggled from the free throw line in recent years, and last year was one of the sources of contention for this team but they're off to a pretty nice start in this one.
Yeah, they are, Dave. And, you go back and you look at those Dolphin numbers from last year, and Samantha Flecker actually shot 77% from the free throw line for the Dolphins, and Angelique Price, who only shot 57% from the line, appears to be a much better free throw shooter this year. So, you are looking and hoping for some improvement from the CSI Dolphins from the line. Christina Passatoro has struggled a little bit from the line this year. Last year shooting 58%. So far this year just at 45%, but still hoping for these Dolphin players to turn things around a little bit from the line, Dave, because when you get into these big games later in the season, and especially inside the conference tournament, free throws always seem to play a big role in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Dolphins really with no major issues through the first 2 quarters of this one, and Mike, they should seemingly be able to just play on cruise control here in the third and fourth quarter, barring a monumental comeback for St. Joe's, who are, we should mention, without 2 of their top 3 scorers coming into this game. Destiny Marino was averaging 17.5 points per game. She's not in attendance. And Victoria Percassi, the 5'6" sophomore who's averaging under 10 points and just under 5 rebounds per game, also not in the lineup. So definitely shorthanded are the Bears, and it would take a big comeback for them to get back into this one. But Dolphins do have 20 minutes to play, and we'll see what they can do with it. And Mike, that's the one thing we should also mention, is that in that game against Wagner College, their first game of the year, Dolphins were down by 12 at halftime. Against Western New England, they were tied at halftime, and really, it was a real dogfight there, 25-25. This is the first time they've entered with a comfortable lead coming out in the third quarter. So a big test for the Dolphins now will be how they play with a big lead. Can they nurse the lead well? Can they protect it well? It's uncharted territory here for this team this season. We'll see how they react from that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, Dave. And, while we have a minute here before we get ready for the start of the second half, just a little bit of an opportunity to look ahead at what's coming up for these Lady Dolphins. And this Saturday afternoon, they will play NYU, so that's going to be a tough non-division opponent, and that's the final of 4 non-conference games for the CSI Dolphins to start this 2016 regular season. And then it's going to be 4 consecutive CUNY conference games, Dave, over the next couple of weeks, 2 at home, 2 on the road. John Jay, York, CCNY, and then a big one against Lehman College. So, a good opportunity for the Dolphins to play another tough non-conference opponent this weekend and really get them ready for the start of the conference schedule, which kicks off a week from tonight right here at the Sports and Recreation Center against John Jay College.
Yeah, that should be one that we look forward to. And, of course, as Mike mentioned, it'll roll over into a game at York, and then the Dolphins will return home again for a doubleheader against CCNY. And then, of course, that matchup with Lehman College, the defending CUNY champs, on December 9th in the Bronx at Lehman. Always a tough place to play, a tough place to win, and that will be an early season litmus test for this team. 5 o'clock start there on the road. And the Dolphins will have Keystone, William Patterson, and Manhattanville all non-conference in games before the new year. So Dolphins a very active team here in the early part of the season. And Mike, it'll be, as we have about 30 seconds to go before second half gets underway, it'll be nice to see the CSI men in action for the first time. Had a tough tournament, but a well-represented one. They had to go at Salisbury, play the host school. They were leading the game at halftime, ended up falling by 18. And then, of course, they fell against Cabrini after a lead at half.
Yeah, and, of course, Dave, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the CSI men's basketball team, not only tonight, but, of course, throughout this 2016 season, and really looking forward to an opportunity to watch the men come out and play for the first time. They went on the road, played a couple of very tough teams, and held the lead late in that game against Cabrini, could not hold on, and dropped that game. And like I said, Dave, we'll have a lot of time to talk about the men, not only tonight but throughout this 2016-17 season.
And we will do a lot of it coming up at 8 o'clock when they face off against Yeshiva. The Dolphins have all 5 of their starters back in the game. That includes Victoria Cray, who's on the handle. She picked up 2 quick fouls and hardly played at all in the first quarter, and now she will get fouled on the floor, so the Dolphins will just have a fresh 30 out of this. Cray with only, actually I don't have it here, but I think she only played 2 minutes or 3 minutes of that first quarter. St. Joe's now with possession. 20 seconds into the third quarter. Bears have a huge lead to overturn, down by 22. Ferrigno controlling. She's surveying the scene. Nobody really open underneath. Now gets it over to Candelaria. A jumper from the free throw line, no good. And Rosa Perone picks up a board. Cray in the corner to Passaturo for three. It's good.
Yeah, and, you know, that's the kind of start you're looking for, Dave. You don't want to let St. Joe's get off to a quick start here in the second half and narrow the deficit down. Good start as Passaturo hits the three.
She's 3 for 10 from the field, 2 for 5 from behind the arc. And she has 980 points for her career. The other way now for Rigno, driving baseline. It looks like Angelique Price will pick up a foul. And indeed it will be on Price, and that'll be foul number 2 against her.
Yeah, so Price and Cray now with 2 for the Dolphins out on the floor.
Now spot jumper by Staub, no good, and getting in the way and breaking things up was Candelaria with the rebound. She kicked it over to Simon, who misses the jumper, and here comes CSI back the other way. Fast break, and that one off of the Bears as the pass was intended for Price. Passaturo also with 3 assists, needs 1 more to overtake Victoria Gallinaro for 9th all time, and she'll get it right there on that give underneath to Price, who puts in the easy 2.
Yeah, so the numbers continue for Passatoro, and she's going to continue to pass players in several different offensive categories.
That's the 30-second timeout called by St. Joseph's College. So the Dolphins are up to a 5-0 run to start the third quarter, and Tom Flahive wants to stop play before it can continue any worse. 52-25, CSI with the lead.
Yeah, and, you know, once again, Dave, Dolphins getting off to a fast start here to the third quarter and really just opening up the lead and opening it up now back to 27 points. And, you know, again, an opportunity for the Dolphins to be able to look at different things. And, you know, that's one of the advantages of getting off to a fast start here in the third quarter.
So after the reset, St. Joe's will have possession. From their side of the court, it will be Hopkins to inbound, and she will to Simon, who also played sparingly in the first half. Simon, right-handed dribble, drops it over to Staub, back over to Simon. Not a lot of movement here for St. Joe's, and the misfiring to Gina Hopkins on the opposite side, and so another turnover for St. Joe's, their 23rd of the game. Gives the possession back to the Staten Island Dolphins.
Yeah, and the Dolphins have outscored St. Joe's 27-5 in points off of turnovers.
Flecker now controls, and she's fronted, and getting too close was Kristen Candelaria, the 5'9" senior. And it'll be her second. Candelaria with 2 points and 3 rebounds so far here in this one. Passaturo taking her time, finding Cray in the corner. Cray thought about driving inside, and now will reset the offense here with 22 on the shot clock. Shanahan barks out the signals from the sideline, and here come the Dolphins now putting it into motion. Looking up top to Passaturo, 13 on the shot clock. Passaturo driving left, finding baseline, penetrating, puts it up near the free throw line. Now the three-pointer for Price, and it's good.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Passatoro that time, drawing the defense into her, kicking it out to the wide-open Price, who buried the three-pointer.
Price takes over the team lead in points now with 13, and she makes her first 3 of the game, her 5th of the season. Getting in the way of that pass was Perone, and now she delivers on the steal. And here comes CSI the other way, 3-on-2. Cray to Price. Nice give to Perone underneath. And the easy layup for Rosa. Her 3rd and 4th points of the game. And the Dolphins are now up by 32 and are on a 10-0 run here to start the third quarter.
Yeah, so Dolphins came into this quarter controlling the game and have really broken it open here at the start of the third.
The starters in. Obviously, the lead continues to balloon. This is Hopkins for 3. No good. Candelaria tried to keep it in play, nearly did, but it's Cray, and here comes CSI 2-on-0 the other way. Passatoro with the sure layup puts it home. Dolphins now outscoring St. Joe's 12-0 in the quarter.
Yeah.
And Passatoro now with 11.
Yeah, and the Dolphins continuing to play with intensity on the defensive end and, really looking at this as an opportunity to get better. You like to see that, Dave.
Staub puts up the layup no good, and this foul probably will be on Perrone. And indeed it will be. So Perrone will pick up her first foul. And it will be Staub going to the free throw line where she is 6 of 10 on the season. And the first is up and good. Staub now with 7 points. She's averaging 11 for the season, so she's on track there. She's added 3 rebounds. Second free throw rattles in. And so the bleeding has stopped temporarily here as they break up the 12-0 run. Price gives over to Flecker, cross court, Passaturo, Cray, down low to Perrone. Perrone turn around and layup off the glass and in.
Yeah, and that's the kind of moves the Dolphins are looking for from Rosa, Dave, the ability to get the ball in the paint and go up effectively and strong to the basket.
Dolphins up 61-27. They haven't updated the scoreboard here. But indeed, the Dolphins up ahead now by 32. They go around the horn. Up is Simon, no good, and Perrone is able to get the rebound. Perrone with some big minutes here in the third quarter. Nice production. Cray slicing through the defense, and she gets the layup home.
Yeah, so the Dolphins really having their own way now. 16-2, Dave, here in the third quarter.
Yeah, full control are the Dolphins. They've outscored St. Joe's 44-15 since the first quarter. Candelaria going to her right, and she was hacked by Cray going up. That'll be the third on Victoria Cray.
And, the Dolphins are about to substitute the starting 5 off the floor anyway, but, if this was a little bit of a tighter game, I think the Dolphins would have a little bit more of a squawk about that last foul call.
Candelaria, who's averaging 4 points per game, hits the first free throw for her third point. And the Dolphins come in with the line change. It's Bracic, Callie, Mbesi, Batar, and DeMontro.
And you'd like to see this, Dave, an opportunity for the 5 subs to come out and, let's see how they can compete out on the floor against St. Joe's Brooklyn.
Yeah, up by 35 here comfortably. Chance for CSI reserves to really log some quality minutes here and earn themselves some more time down the stretch. Obviously, in games like this, Mike, that's what Tim Shanahan and the coaching staff are looking for. In the tight games, who do we bring in? Bracic's pass, almost intercepted by Candelaria, but it's out of bounds. Candelaria doing a nice job to keep that in play. No quit in her game, as now St. Joe's will bring in 3 substitutions. DiCioccio, it will be Drago coming back in, and Lauren Caseta has also entered. Dolphins will have possession here. 28 on the shot clock, so I think they're going to either take some time off there because Bracic's pass was almost intercepted. And I believe the reset happened when that would-be interception was to take place by Candelaria, but my guess they'll probably take this down to about 25, 24 seconds.
Yeah, so the officials out there, and, they keep track of a lot of different things, including the shot clock, and now we're ready to get underway. 21 on the shot clock.
21 seconds, quick inbounds. Bracic puts one up, a short jumper. 5-footer is good for Bracic, who now has 11 points off the bench for the Dolphins. And they're up 65-28 with 4:44 remaining in the third.
So Bracic will be the first Dolphin player to come off the bench and score double digits, as she has 11 here tonight.
Now baseline drive, but out of bounds. And another turnover here for St. Joe's. Number 23 on the game for them.
Yeah, good defense that time by the Dolphins.
Mbesi working one-on-one against Simon, dribbling right, drops off to Batar, to Callie, back to Mbesi. She continues to control. Mbesi's only taken 1 shot so far. since she's been in the game. Puts up that one off the glass, a spinner that she gets to go. 67-28, Dolphins with the lead.
So Nicole gets on the board for the Dolphins as she gets her first basket as the Dolphins continue to have their way against St. Joe's Brooklyn.
The Chochio drops off to Hopkins. Now underneath, wide open is Drago. She's able to put it through. And so Drago, who's averaging 4 points per game, scores her third and fourth points of this one.
Nice offensive set by St. Joe's that time, ending up with a nice open shot inside.
DeMontro back pedals, drops off to Batar. Batar now driving baseline, gets positioning, and is fouled. It'll probably be on the floor, and the Dolphins will get a fresh 30 out of this.
And that was a nice move by Batar, Dave. She made her mind up to go to the basket and was able to draw the foul.
And Batar has scored her first points of her career tonight as well. She's got 2. CSI with a fresh 30 will take their time here, work their half-court offense. DeMontro up top to Mbesi. Was looking down low to Bracic, opts out of that, travels though, and the Dolphins with only their 6th turnover of the game.
Yeah, Dave, and if you remember, 3 of those came in the first 45 seconds or minute and a half very early in the game. So they've only turned the ball over 3 times since then, really doing a nice job with the turnovers.
And Mbesi was protesting about that call as well. Hopkins looking for a 3, opts out, gives over to Drago. Drago turns to dribble, drops off to DiCioccio, and her 3 is good. First 3 make of the game for the Bears, Nina DiCioccio. And that's her first points of the season.
Yeah, 1 of 8 for St. Joe's from the 3-point line.
Correction, DiCioccio now with, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, that was her first points of the season. She came in with none. 34-point lead for the Dolphins as they have single digits on the shot clock now. Need to get a shot off. Streaking down was Callie. Drops back off to Batar. Long-range jumper, no good. And the rebound collected by Caseta. Caseta takes it herself past half court. Dribbles left side. Cross court to Hopkins. Hopkins, cross court to Simon. Simon down low, intercepted by Callie. And here comes Callie down the other way. Crossover dribble over Simon. Callie all the way in. Layup no good. Caseta gets the rebound, and now she has her pocket picked by DeMontro. Back over to Callie, and Callie puts one over the defense for the layup.
Yeah, good hustle by Callie. Stayed with it after the miss and got rewarded with her second basket of the game.
DiCioccio for 3, no good. And Caseta is able to put in the putback and cut the lead once again to 34. Errant pass by Callie, scooped up by Mbesi. 20 seconds on the shot clock, 1:30 remaining in the third. Batar, cross court to Bracic. Bracic, long-range jumper, it's good.
Boy, Dave, if the Dolphins could count on that kind of bench production from Bracic, they really would have found a diamond in the rough. They really need points from the bench, and so far she's been able to deliver them.
Bracic, like her brother Eden, on the men's basketball team from Parkway North High School in St. Louis, Missouri. Put back for Caseta, no good. She'll get to go to the free throw line here for St. Joe's with 1:05 to play in the third.
Yeah, a couple of nice plays by Caseta, Dave, on the last offensive possession. She was able to score a basket the last time. Now going to the free throw line to shoot 2. She's 4 of 6 with 9 rebounds and an assist, so she's played pretty well for the Bears here tonight.
She's now over 50% from the free throw line as well. Caseta came in averaging 3 points per game. Second free throw rattles in and out. And so now with a minute to go in the third, Dolphins will have possession. Callie streaking inside Batar, but it was broken up by Drago. Drago gives over to Hopkins. Brooklyn looking to run. This is Simon. Long range 2 off the back iron, no good. Collected by Drago. Right-handed shot, no good. Callie gets the rebound. Jacqueline Callie, coast to coast, is shielding away the defender, DiCioccio, but it will be DiCioccio picking up the foul.
Yeah, that time Callie and DiCioccio were kind of bouncing off each other, and the foul ended up getting called on the Bears.
And it will be Callie going to the line for the first time this season. She's 1 for 2 from the stripe, and now I think there's a debate as to whether that was St. Joe's 4th or 5th foul. And I believe it was maybe their 4th now as they're changing it to a possession.
And with 39.3 seconds remaining, Dave, the Dolphins will have to inbound the ball from the side court.
9-second differential between the game and shot clocks. Callie will inbound. Brocic, top of the arc. Mbesi, left side. Back up top to DeMontro. DeMontro's only taken 2 shots herself in this one. Very unselfish point guard. Brocic, top of the arc again, and that time she travels. She reconsidered the pass attempt, and that got her crossed up. So with 23 seconds to go in the third, St. Joe's potentially with the final possession of the quarter.
Yeah, and that was Quesada that forced the turnover there for the Bears.
33-point deficit for the Bears. Hopkins to Drago, inside of 10 seconds to play in the third. 3-pointer for Simon. Front iron, no good, and Callie boxed out Brocic for the rebound, and loose ball foul called on St. Joseph's Brooklyn. So now CSI will go to the free throw line with 3.3 seconds remaining in the third.
You know, Dave, I saw it the same way you did, Dave. I thought it was Brocic and Callie that collided, and St. Joe's got called for the foul.
I thought Callie fouled Brocic.
Yeah.
So Callie will indeed go to the line for the second time this season. Now she's 1 for 3. So we have a substitution here as Candelaria comes back in, replacing Quesada. I'll say this, Mike, the Bears are down by a bunch, 35 points, but they haven't really quit in this game. They continue to play strong and play hard. And second free throw for Callie's good. The Dolphins have officially doubled up on St. Joe's. The clock has not started. And this has been a serious problem for CSI and their staff, Mike. I take partial responsibility for it, as we've had some serious mechanical issues with the clock. A number of occasions against Western New England, the clock failed to start in time, and now this one stops as well, or the clock never started. This quarter should have been over a long time ago. Instead, it was a foul called underneath that put Callie at the free throw line. And now with 2.3 seconds, they'll redo the inbounds. .3. Simon's able to put one off the glass, no good. And we are at the end of 3 complete. So at the end of 3, it is CSI 72, St. Joseph's College 36. 3 in the books, 1 left to play. Stay with us. You are watching women's basketball right here live on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
And a welcome back here to the Sports and Recreation Center. Game 1 of our scheduled CSI basketball doubleheader. The women in complete control over St. Joseph's College of Brooklyn, 72-36. And they have just 10 minutes to get through here, Mike, before they improve to 2-1 on the season. And then coming up, approximately 8 o'clock start will be the CSI Dolphin men. They'll have the home opener of their 2016-17 season against Yeshiva University. They're looking for their first win. Dolphins have started 0-2.
Yeah, Dave, I got to say, I'm really looking forward for an opportunity to watch the men play. They went down to Maryland and suffered 2 tough losses. and tough YU team coming in tonight. So big game for CSI here later tonight.
Drago hits on St. Joseph's side to start the fourth quarter. CSI misfiring on their first shot, but Vasaja Watson able to collect the offensive rebound. That's also been a recurring theme in this one. Dolphins have been out-rebounded in the game, but have done a nice job on the offensive glass.
Yeah, and the Dolphins have played 12 players tonight, and everybody but Watson has gotten on the scoreboard for CSI.
That's a very good point. Dolphins will have another attempt here with a fresh 32nd after the foul. And we have another foul called here. 2 quick ones against St. Joseph's College. The Dolphins will have another fresh 30.
You know, Dave, I really thought that through these first 3 games, I think the officials have done a much better job calling these games. There have been much less fouls, it seems like there's been in the past, and much more flow to the game, and certainly hope that continues throughout the season.
Yeah, very good point there as we look forward to a good one the rest of the way as well. It's Vasaja Watson. Drops off to Chanel Alvarez, and Alvarez with a long jumper right from the corner of the free throw line. Dolphins back up by 36.
Yeah, Alvarez's second basket, and you know, you like the way some of these freshmen start to seem to be, like they're getting a little bit more into the flow of the game, getting used to the pace.
Drago opts out of the layup attempt and gives over to Hopkins, and Hopkins buries the 3 for St. Joseph's College. Mike, you know, we talk a lot about the Dolphins. Put yourself in the Bears' shoes here. What are some of the things you have to do to get out of here feeling a little bit better about a tough loss here on the road?
Well, you know, the first thing you know is that 2 of your best 3 players, at least scoring-wise, weren't available tonight, and you realize that. But the other thing, and you mentioned it, Dave, a little bit earlier in the broadcast, is you have to like the way that St. Joe's has continued to work, continued to run through their offensive sets, continued to play hard defensively. They haven't played very effectively, especially on the offensive side, just by the virtue of their 22 turnovers, but they have continued to play hard and play well, and they could certainly take that from this game as well.
And they're outscoring the Dolphins 7-2 here in the fourth quarter. First couple of minutes in. The 2 belongs to Chanel Alvarez, who now drops off baseline to Bracic. Up top, Vasaja Watson with the shot clock winding down. An air ball, unfortunately for Watson, who was a little bit out of her range, but the shot clock was winding down.
Yeah, you know, that time the Dolphins really didn't get a good look offensively. Watson ends up putting up the hurried 3-pointer, and St. Joe's will take the ball over on the shot clock violation.
So St. Joe's looking to build up on some more momentum here as Hopkins looks inside. Opts to go around, and this is Simon now for 3 off the back iron. Didn't miss by much. Drago keeps it in play, but it's DeMontro who gathers. Nicole and Bessie will slow things down here for the Dolphins, who will work their half-court offense.
Yeah, and you know, Dave, if you're the Dolphins here, you're in no hurry. A 30-second shot clock violation is not necessarily that bad a thing with this kind of lead. So Dolphins, again, get the ball into Bracic. Her shot gets knocked away, but the Dolphins will maintain possession. And, again, you take the ball, you run down 20 seconds or so, Dave, try to get into your offense and get a decent shot. And, you know, really they do that the rest of the way. This game is pretty well decided.
Yeah, and I don't know. I thought Bracic's pass, well, I guess maybe it didn't hit the rim.
Yeah, it was close, Dave. You know, I know what you're saying, but the official said no, so 9 seconds to shoot.
And so Bracic puts one back, and that one was partially deflected, I believe, by Candelaria, and here comes St. Joe's back the other way. Ferrigno thought about a baseline 3, opts out, gives over to Hopkins, Hopkins to Simon. Simon around the horn for Caseta. All the way across court, but that one goes into the St. Joe's bench. So another turnover here, number 28 of the game, and that's something St. Joe's has done well in the second half. They had 22 first half turnovers, 6 here in the second half.
Yeah, and you know, again, if you're St. Joe's, they try to win the fourth quarter. That's all you can really do.
Bracic controls. CSI starters have been out since pretty much midway into the third quarter, and this has been the team on the floor. Bracic puts one up for 3. That one was short and collected by Simon, and Alvarez guilty of the reach-in on the rebound attempt, so the Dolphins pick up their first foul, the 4th.
Yeah, so the Dolphins pick up their first team foul, and Dolphins have done a pretty good job this year, Dave, keeping their fouls under control. Just their first team foul here with 6:32 remaining here in the fourth.
Going to be Bitar coming back in to replace Bracic, who's 5 of 10 from the field, 3 for 5 from downtown. And another stoppage of play here for a clock issue. Early season woes for the CSI staff here with the clock, Mike, and it's something we've come to see, you know, most oftentimes, but that'll be an issue later in the season for sure.
Yeah, coaches could get pretty excited about that, especially in a close game. So just something to work on as the season goes along.
Drago with another putback, and a layup is good. And now St. Joe's outscoring CSI 9-2 in this quarter. Dolphins stuck on 74 for quite some time. This is Alvarez, who has the only points of the quarter, and her jumper goes long and into the hands of Ferrigno, who now has 9 rebounds. This is Hopkins for 3. Long. Drago with the offensive rebound and the putback.
And I think head coach Tim Shanahan is 2 or 3 possessions away from putting some plays back into the game. So these ladies would like to finish the fourth quarter out on the floor. They're going to have to stabilize the game now and get some baskets.
Alvarez collects from Mbesi. Now Mbesi gets it back. Her shot is long, and it's collected by Candelaria. Comes St. Joe's the other way. Simon in the corner to Ferrigno for 3. No good. Offensive rebound, Candelaria. Her shot was blocked by Watson, collected by Alvarez. And here comes Alvarez the other way. 1 against 2. Drops off DiMancho. DiMancho stuffed by Candelaria. But Alvarez there to scoop things up as we have a whistle.
The shot clock got reset.
And this has been a real issue here, as now we have another stoppage of play. .25 seconds. And we have a wholesale change here for St. Joe's as DiCioccio comes back into the game along with Caitlin Staub. And number 22, Lauren Caseta.
Dolphins really looking for a good offensive set here, Dave.
Race for the ball, and it's won by DiCioccio. Looking underneath, and the pass too strong for Hopkins as she was open with 5:02 remaining in the final quarter. CSI with possession now. Vasaja Watson puts up a quick 3. No good. Back iron collected by Simon.
Yeah, that's not the shot the Dolphins are looking for, Dave.
Casado off the glass, no good, but she was fouled, and I believe that will be against Watson. And it will be against Vasaja Watson. That'll be her second personal. Casada with her 11th point of the game. She's now 3 for 4 from the line, 4 for 6 from the floor. She's also added 9 rebounds and hits again. So now she shares the team lead with Drago for 12 points.
13-2, Dave.
Yeah.
St. Joe's here in the fourth.
Yeah, this is the most amount of points St. Joe's has scored in a quarter tonight. They also scored 13 in the second. They scored 12 in the first. Turnover for the Dolphins. That's against Alvarez. And this game has gotten pretty sloppy for the Dolphins here in these first 5.5 minutes of the of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's going to be, Dave, their 7th turnover here in the second half. They had just 5 in the first.
Yeah, it looks like, thought Angelique Price was getting ready to come in. Instead, she's going into the locker room for the Dolphins. So see what's up with that. Simon controls. 12 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Caseta all the way across to Simon. St. Joe's got to get a shot off here with 5 seconds left, and now it's Hopkins for 3, and she buries it.
Yeah, sorry, Dave.
No, St. Joe's cuts the lead to 22 now, and have outscored the Dolphins 16-2 in the fourth quarter. But if you're the CSI bench players and looking to make a statement, the Dolphins really need to pick it up a little bit, as the St. Joe starters have really had their way here with the second CSI team, as Mbesi dribbles it off of her foot, I believe, and that'll be a turnover for the Dolphins. And so CSI, who had 5 turnovers in the first half, now have 7 in the second, and 12 for the game.
Yeah, so Dolphins turning the ball over again, Dave, and have really struggled offensively here in the fourth quarter. Just 2 points, and with the amount of time remaining, it's tough to see the Bears finding a way to come back. But again, the Dolphins hoping for a little bit better play here in the fourth quarter.
Around the horn they go. This is Simon for the three-point attempt. No good off the glass. Long rebound. It's won by DiCioccio, and now Hopkins straightaway three, and it's good. And so St. Joe's now outscoring the Dolphins 19-2 in the fourth quarter.
The lead is under 20, Dave, and I think the only thing stopping the starters from coming back in is the fact that there's only 3 minutes remaining.
DeMontro with a bad miss, collected by the Dolphins, though. Alvarez with another board. Watson thought about a baseline long two, but opts out, gives back to Mbesi. Dolphins are short on the shot clock here. Now 5 seconds left. Mbesi, short jumper. Her shot was blocked by number 14, DiCioccio. And now there's 3 seconds left on the shot clock. So Dolphins need to get off a quick shot here. Mbesi will inbound to Alvarez. The ball skips around. Alvarez puts up a desperation three, and it's good to go. And even she smirks as she runs back, and she didn't expect that one to go in. Neither did the 100 or so fans in attendance behind us.
Yeah, and that's only the second Dolphin basket of the quarter, but if there was any doubt, that probably sealed it.
And actually that was a 2-pointer for the Dolphins. Actually, no, that was a 3. I'm sorry, that was a 3. It was counted as a 2. On the scoreboard, it's a 3. So a little debate there. In any event, St. Joe's comes back, puts up a 2 of their own. Lead is 20 for the Dolphins, 77-57 with 2:05 remaining in regulation. Now a quick whistle against Simon.
And so many good things for the Dolphins here tonight, Dave. And, this fourth quarter really doesn't negate them. The Dolphins came out, played very well, very strong, and, jumped out to a big lead. And, a lot of very positive things for CSI here tonight.
Sejah Watson misses on the layup attempt that was blocked, and now this is Hopkins the other way. And Hopkins catching fire now. 4 for 10 from behind the arc. She has 16. And the Bears have 60 points thanks to 24 in this quarter. Almost half of their output, Mike, in these first 7.5 minutes of the fourth. Alvarez misses on the jumper. 8.5 minutes, I should say, into the fourth. Hopkins looking underneath. Nice pass. They look top of the arc, and this is going to be a backcourt violation on St. Joe's. I don't believe it was touched. It was not. And the Dolphins will get a fresh 30 with 1:15 remaining. So, Mike, when people pick up the paper tomorrow, they'll see the Dolphins won, maybe by 17, 20 points, but they were in complete control before St. Joe's really won this fourth quarter outright.
Yeah, the Dolphins really played so well here tonight and, have continued to do what they've done here through the first 3 games. They haven't turned the ball over, and they've done a good job rebounding the basketball. And, you have to be happy now. The Dolphins will pick up their second win in a row and go to 2-1 and get ready for a tough non-conference home game this Saturday against NYU.
Dolphins will bleed the shot clock down, but a turnover by Mbesi with 2 seconds left on the shot clock, so just as well. St. Joe's and another chance to cut into the CSI lead before this game is complete. 16-second differential between the shot and game clock here. Hopkins to Simon, to DiCioccio. Cross court to Hopkins. Hopkins lets loose another 3. No good over everyone. Staub tried to keep it in play. Could not. 32.5 seconds remaining in this one. Dolphins will have to get a shot off before the game clock expires. DeMontro to Batar. Inside. Pass intercepted by DiCioccio. She's going to go coast to coast. DiCioccio down the left side, losing the handle, and will give the ball back to CSI. And now the Dolphins no longer need to take a shot. They will wind the final 15 seconds of the clock down, and the Dolphins, Mike, will improve to 2-1. It was a little sloppy in the fourth quarter. The Dolphins were outscored 24-5 in the fourth, but the first 3 quarters, there was no question who the better team was. The Dolphins rip off a huge win over St. Joe's. They continued their dominance over the Bears at home, all-time 9-0 on this floor against St. Joseph's College. And, Mike, the Dolphins are have a little head of steam now as they prepare for NYU on Saturday.
Yeah, another nice job here by the Dolphins tonight. As you mentioned, they jumped out in front. They led by 7 going in at the end of the first quarter. Never really looked back. They'll up their record to 2-1. They've now won 2 games in a row. They can go home. They can have a nice Thanksgiving turkey and get ready for NYU this Saturday afternoon.
So we are going to have Nahada Bracic will join us here as on our post-game show. Nahada, you found out you were suiting up just a few minutes before you actually started the game. How did it feel get back onto the court after missing Saturday?
I felt good playing with the girls. I really missed being on the court with them, and I'm glad we came out with the win.
And you caught a little fire as well, especially from behind the arc when the rest of the team was struggling. You were able to hit some key three-pointers and really put a lot of distance between you and St. Joe's.
Yeah, I'm glad I had the chance to let up the lead. We played good together, and I'm glad it all happened.
And one of the things about games like this, when the score gets out of hand, is you get a lot of extended minutes from a lot of the bench players, getting some different looks, from the starting 5 that's out there. How did it feel to get that extended time on the court, playing with a lot of different players?
I like getting a chance to play with all of them because they all have. We all play good together individually, and when we play together, it all works out.
Tremendous. Well, Nahada, congratulations on a great game. You guys are 2-1. Looking forward to a great game on Saturday against NYU.
All right, thanks, sir.
You got it. That was Nahada Bracic, freshman from St. Louis, Missouri, Parkway North High School. Mike, much like her brother, class act, Nahada, and really stepped up to the plate. When these outside shooters start to catch some fire, the Dolphins start to get a few runs going. Kind of hard to stop.
Yeah, Dave, and if the Dolphins are going to be successful in this CUNYAC conference, and, by success we mean, of course, getting to the finals and winning it, they're going to need the outside shooting that Nahada Bracic was able to give them today. So, as we mentioned before, a lot of positives for the Dolphins. They don't get erased by the Dolphins getting outscored by 19 in the fourth quarter. And, really just a nice job by CSI here tonight. They came out, they played a shorthanded St. Joe's Brooklyn team. They pulled out in front in the middle of the second quarter, never looked back. Nice, easy win for the Dolphins here tonight. They get ready for Saturday, and we get ready for the men's team against Yeshiva University.
All right, Mike, so what we will do is we will step aside. When we come back, we will actually end this broadcast, and then when we do come back, put it on CSIDolphins.com/CSI Sportsnet and click on the men's game, and we'll have men's coverage between CSI and Yeshiva University. So once again, our final score, 77-60, the Dolphins over St. Joseph's College of Brooklyn. They go to 2-1 overall, and St. Joe's falling to 1-3 thus far this season. For the Dolphins, their next game will be against NYU on Saturday at 3 o'clock. We will be here with you for that one as well. So for Meshach Alexander, our director, for Anna Trotta and Joe Foreman, who are working camera for us, for Mike Babuski, I'm David Pizzuto saying good night, and we'll see you in just a few more minutes for CSI men's basketball. Mike Babuski with the call for that one. Good night, everyone.